Greg Abbott fact checks Jasmine Crockett's racist redistricting claims. And Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, he basically makes the same argument that I makes pertaining to her ridiculous racism jibe when it comes to redistricting, is that 4 out of the 5 redistricting areas are going to be Hispanic. So how is it racist? But she throws that term out there so liberally. Everyone's a Nazi. Everyone that has anything that believes in anything opposite of her is a racist, and all these other things. We know these things that she throw at people. And I've said time and time again that those tactics no longer work. Calling people racist, calling things racist that don't agree with your ideology is not gonna convince anyone to come on your side any longer. They have diluted the word. But we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to play the clip and hear what Greg Abbott has to say about all of this. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from the Daily Caller. And they report that Republican Governor Greg Abbott of Texas mocked Democratic Texas Rep. Jasmine Crockett's argument that the state's redistricting silences minority voters on Sunday during an appearance on Fox News. Democrats in the Texas state fled to Democratic-controlled states like New York and Illinois in order to thwart a GOP redistricting proposal that could net Republicans up to 5 seats in the House of Representatives. Fox News Sunday host Shannon Bream asked Abbott about Crockett's claims that minority voters would lose their voice as a result of the new maps, with Abbott pointing out Trump made significant gains with Hispanic voters in the state as proof that minority groups do not vote as monoliths, which is absolute truth. They believe that. They believe that, though. Even though a Hispanic vote is one of the things that help put Trump over the top. But anyway, let's play this clip here. Here we go.
Worried about if the blue states do ramp this up, they're going to lose their seats. One of them is Congressman Mike Lawler. He's a Republican out of New York. He says it creates a situation where you're going to lose blue state members, which over the long haul are critical to keeping the majority. It's all that Lawler said, mutually assured destruction once people go full throttle. So what about those seats possibly being tanked in blue states?
Well, as you may know, the law in New York, the law in California is very different than the law in the state of Texas. In the state of Texas, all it requires is an act of the legislature to do redistricting. In both New York and California, it requires a constitutional amendment based upon constitutional standards that already exist in their state. And that's why I say what these Democrat governors are saying is a lot of bluster, because not only do they not have the ability to remove very many Republicans, they also have no legal authority to be able to get this done in time for the same election cycle that Texas will be ready.
Yeah, they do have levers, but and we'll talk about with Governor Hochul about that. They do have time limits on when they can do these things. So there are procedures in place, and we'll talk about that with the governor. But I want to play something by Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. She used to serve there in the state legislature in Texas, now a rep here in Washington. She says this is about race. Here's what she says.
Right now, African Americans are only going to have 1/5 of the voting power that they should have in the state of Texas under this map. And we know that our Latino brothers and sisters will only have 1/3 of the voting power. And frankly, Asians, which tend to be one of the fastest growing demographics in the state of Texas, have literally no power.
So what about that accusation?
Well, first of all, it would not be a day that ends in the letter Y if Jasmine Crockett didn't say something racist. But second, her facts are wrong, because the facts in the state of Texas are, under the maps that we are drawing, is that 4 of the new seats will be predominantly Hispanic seats. The problem that Democrats have in the state of Texas is Hispanics, black voters, and other voters, they have learned now that the ideas that Democrats stand for are contrary to the ideas that the Hispanic community and black community stand for. They all want secure borders. They don't want men and women in sports, and they want to support law enforcement. And so what we're finding is that these Hispanics now are voting for Republicans. We saw that very prolifically in the last presidential election when Donald Trump won all 5 of the seats that we're going to be adding. So it's a proven fact that minority voters chose to vote for Trump as well as other Republicans, but they are trapped in one of these gerrymander districts that confines it only to electing a Democrat. If the Democrats would say that they shouldn't be entitled to elect a certain member of a particular race, but instead let the voters of that district decide, regardless of their race, they're going to find that Democrats are going to lose voters and Republicans will be picking up voters.
Well, Governor, we'll watch to see for a decision from your courts there in Texas and those continued sessions you may be calling. We'll track it all. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Shannon.
Okay, so joining us now.
So, I mean, Democrats are butthurt because they created the laws in their states that they have to stick to. And they're mad that Texas has their own certain laws where they can do and they can redistrict stuff like that. Y'all created those laws. Y'all Democrats own the legislature in California and in Illinois and New York, where y'all created and put it in y'all constitution to not be able to redistrict. And now y'all are upset about these laws that y'all created. That's on y'all. Trump carried 46% of the Hispanic vote, 40% of the Asian vote, and 13% of the black vote in 2024, according to CNN's exit poll. In 2020, Trump carried 32% Hispanic voters, 34% Asian voters, and 12% of the black voters, according to CNN exit poll. So this is actually, it will help Trump. They acting like this, of course this redistricting is going to help Trump, but they're acting like that Hispanics are not going to be voting for Trump. Like they're not part of the minority that's going to be getting this, that's going to be benefiting from this redistricting. By comparison, in CNN's 2016 exit poll, Trump only received 28% of the Hispanic vote, 27% of the Asian vote, and 8% of the black vote. Quote, they're going to find that Democrats are going to lose voters and Republicans will be picking up voters, Abbott predicted. And I agree, not because of the redistricting, but because people are done with the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party no longer is the party of the people, and the people are upset with the Democrat Party. Even their own base is feel disenfranchised with the Democratic Party. So I don't see them ever coming back from this. All they're going to do is going to try to rig things to in their favor because that's all they got. They are the ones that rigged stuff when they included illegal immigrants in the census, so they'd be able to redistrict and gain all of these votes and stuff like that. The Democrats did that, but of course they would never ever bring that up. The mainstream media, I would say, would never ever bring that up. You'll never hear MSNBC or CNN actually bring up that fact. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.